up like you do in New York or Chicago.
Sorry.
I brought the chefs to the mountains to meet the shepherds, and it was crazy because I thought, oh dear, are they going to like this? Are they going to be like, where's the shepherd? And this kind of stuff. But as the years went by, these hotshot chefs wanted to bring their spouses and their, and so I really wanted the chefs to not just learn about how to use olive oil for something else besides a salad, right? I wanted them to understand where the ingredients come from. And then that also has so much to do with our culture here. Being a city girl, like, my family's from Chicago, Greek Americans. We don't know where our food comes from. So it developed over the years to include botany, geology, because people started asking about rocks and I needed the rock guy. So the botany also incorporates food. Everything has to do with the Minoan culture and the food. So over the years, I found people, not by Google, no one has a website, as Robin had mentioned. No one wants to work in tourism, but they care about what I do, and I care about, what they do. And so that's how we're working together to create a program where people are sharing their knowledge because they love their island and they love what they do. The botanists are from the University of Crete, but they're not teachers, they're researchers. They love to be in the mountains. Same with the geologists. We also work with some great chefs in restaurants, but also home chefs, depending on who's coming and how much cooking we want to do. Let's see, what else? We always incorporate history because if we don't learn that, at least understand it, because everyone will refer back to the Minoans because we're so proud of our culture here. My grandmother's from Crete, just so you know. But so we have to incorporate everything, at least a little overview, so that people, when they say, well, what is Minoan? Who were the Minoans? We have an idea, right? It's archaeology. It's, 4,000 years of history. So we don't know it all and we can't teach it all in 7 days. But so that's the overview, where we have a big picture of culture, nature, agriculture, and cuisine.
Awesome. So what I thought I would do is I would share my screen. I know, and I do apologize that some of you are having trouble getting into the website. So I was going to share the screen with the website and go through the itinerary and go through some of the logistics stuff really quickly, and then give you time to ask all your questions. So that's not it. I had it set up and then I went searching for something else. Okay, here it is, sorry. All right, so here is the website of the Crete trip. These are all pictures from some of Nikki's trips. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to, I know what people were talking about, like where to fly into and all that and hubs. So I did want to make sure that you saw that, we had a little more information about, getting to Crete. I think since a number of you are New York, or well, some of you, I guess half of you on this call, but flying from Newark to Athens nonstop and then doing a transfer. But I think there are a couple of other airlines like United or whatever that oh, actually, yeah, here's a Dulles one, Sherry, but going to Paris and then going straight to Heracleon. How do you pronounce it? Heracleon? Yes.
Heraclio.
Heracleon. See, I'm terrible. Even with general languages, I'm like horrible.
Don't worry.
I know. It took me, I was telling Nikki last night, I was at a Greek restaurant and it took me like all night to learn how to say thank you. And then I said it to her and and she's like corrected me on how to say it. So I'm terrible, but you guys will probably be better. So the airport code, HDN. Hi Josh. Uh, we did some introductions and now I was just going through the itinerary. So this is Josh, everyone. Yes.
HDN is not the airport code. Sorry to correct that. It's HER, like her.
Yeah, I thought that's what I had before. I mean, it's in the top one, and then I'm like, yeah, HER. I don't know why that one said HDN. Okay, I will correct that immediately, make sure. But there are different ways of getting there. It would be, coming in on the 16th, you would probably, have to leave on the 15th at night. And then hopefully we can arrange and we can talk about it once I know everyone who is committed, that we can figure out a timing for, when we can all get there around the same time, so transfer is easier. The itinerary, which some of you had trouble getting onto my website, and I've been talking to them. I do apologize for the issues, but we didn't, as Nikki and I know, we really only put the itinerary for people who are truly interested, because both of us have found that people go in and copy the web, the itinerary, and either offer another agency or do something. So we do try and keep it, especially since it is so special, that we only want members who are really interested. So that's why some of you may have had trouble getting in if you weren't signed in. But I'm just going to kind of run through more of a synopsis of this, and then we can open it more to questions. I will say that it being a smaller group, and both Nikki and I like to work that way. It's more intimate. We get to know each other, but also when you're hiking or whatever, there's not long waits and gaps in between. And, particularly if there's a workshop or you're learning from, talking to the person who is like kind of describing the herbs or beekeeping or something like that, we can just be all in a small little, gathering circle, and it's not like, no one can hear and that type of thing. So, saying that, based on what you guys said earlier about what your interests, I think this is pretty key on to what everyone wants, but we can still, make some tweaks, and be a little spontaneous at times. Yeah, we can't be too spontaneous because we have people that are waiting for us, but we can, move things around. And I'll tell you, just before Nikki and I were talking about something else, and I'll let her talk about that. But we thought, okay, we may even be making a change based on the harvest of some grapes or the fermenting of some grapes. So we're still working on it as we learn what's going on. But the first day, travel day, we'll do more of getting to know the town that we're in. And I do this is what I just found. Did it switch over to the pictures?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So this is the town. I just took some pictures. Nikki may have other ones, but these were just of, where we're going to be. Very quaint and beautiful. And we're going to be staying in, these aren't big hotels. We want to support the local community. So we have more, kind of, I think, Nikki, you call them more like apartments, right? That we're staying in, but we'll all be meeting on terraces together for breakfast and all that. second day is going to be more of like getting to know the history. We're also going to go to an olive grove, and Nikki was telling me about, the olives actually on Crete are different from other Greek olives. You'll see those, learn about that, learn how they actually make olive oil. Then we'll go to one of the villages, and where we'll have, a winery tour and tasting, and make our way back for the evening. Again, these are really special tours. They're not like, like what a tourist group comes in and, has a few tastes of wine and leaves. We're actually, again, these are people who just want to share, what they do, their livelihood, and they'll show us more of like the whole process of olive oil, what it can be used for, and all this while is a lot of walking around. So it's not, we're going through the groves and we're going through the vineyards, and it's not, like an on the bus, see this, off the bus type thing. It's not explained that well in the itinerary as that, and so that's why I wanted to mention that again. Oh, I forgot the beekeeper thing in day 3. Nikki, has a friend who has a beekeeping, and we thought it would be really interesting just for a short thing before, before we really start into other things, is learn about the honey and all that. There's, we're going to a farm. It says an herb workshop, which is really, well, Nikki, you want to describe it because you did a better job than I actually have on my on my website.
Oh, that's okay. My friend is an herbalist. She's also got a master's in biology, and we tailor her workshops to whatever the group is interested in. The foundation is herbs and cooking, herbs and teas, and medicinal teas that we've been using for thousands of years. And she also makes tinctures and things like that. So she's very fun and very interesting. And but the basis is, how do we use our indigenous herbs? What are they used for? And so we get to, a aromatherapy experience at her shop, basically.
And then we're going to have our cooking class with lunch, and with a chef who, does he have a restaurant in town? Nikki, I think he does, right?
Yes, he has a restaurant here that's an upscale restaurant. He's very well known. He's taught at the Culinary Institute of America, my alma mater, and studied with Alain Ducasse, and then came back to Crete to raise the level of tradition and combine it. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's fusion per se, but upgrading traditional recipes.
Awesome. And then our next day is going to, is it Lassisi Plateau?
Lassisi. Yeah, you got it right.
Yes, and where we're going to be doing biking. It's mostly paved roads, a few dirt roads, but mostly paved. He said we'll be covering approximately like 20 to 30 kilometers, and visiting villages and the views and the Crete countryside, going to a very special cave that we'll go in, that legendary, that was the birthplace of Zeus. And that's going to be, I think, a long, active day. And then I said, well, check out the nightlife. I don't know, how much of a nightlife is in this? I mean, I know like if we wanted to go further away in Crete, there's more of a nightlife, but is there in the villages, or is it just like sitting in the bars and drinking, or what would you say?
I guess it depends on what nightlife you're interested in. Here in my village, nightlife is, there's a few cafe neon, cafes where people gather. They usually always eat when they're drinking, not just pretzels or peanuts, but and we also have a few little wine bars and sometimes music. And, I can certainly ask around during our trip to see who's playing or try to encourage some musicians to play. But so nightlife is not exactly what you think of New York or, Chicago.
Right.
But there, 20 minutes away is Heraclio, where there's, bars, as you might sort of be more familiar with. But here in Crete, our nightlife is gathering and with your friends and basically eating and drinking.
I like that.
Not just drinking. But yeah, you can take a taxi 20 minutes away and go and check out, whatever kind of nightlife scene that is more similar to, say, I can't say it's ever similar to New York or Chicago, but
yeah. No, I was just wondering, like live music, musicians, I think that would be great. And I think we put one night that, maybe we can even have some, a dance lesson or something with traditional dance, who knows?
Yeah, we can easily do that. And we already have Cretan musicians in this itinerary to at least give us a little overview of Cretan music and play a little. It's not going to be a whole night like sort of a Cretan wedding that lasts till 4 a.m. But something shorter than that. Maybe a couple of hours.
So that's awesome. Then the next day, yeah, did someone?
I put out to the international dance community when I was in Spain and also when I was in Portugal, because I danced within the West Coast Swing community and other communities. We were able to find dances within those countries. So I put out a question to some of the pros to help me find some dances that could be interesting. And sometimes they're just in a bar with people who happen to dance that are going to the bar.
Right. Oh, that would be cool. All right. Keep us updated. The next morning, we'll have an optional hike, and then we'll we'll travel, I think, about a half hour away for a sailing trip, where we'll have lunch on board. You can swim, you could snorkel, and just kind of enjoy the being outside. And then the next day is a hike. And I don't know much about this hike, but we can kind of talk and see if this, I don't know how long is it, Nikki? This one, you think that you have here?
Mount Euctus, which is right behind me. I would pick up my computer, but the cicadas might overwhelm us. But so Mount Euctus, I have videos, and I can send them to everyone, or Robin can put them on the website. But so Mount Euctus is not really far up. I mean, but it depends on who's hiking and what they want to learn, because or experience, let's say, because the hike is led by a botanist that I work with from the University of Crete. He's also a marathon runner, so you'll get along famously. But so we stop and look at the herbs. Not many in October, gotta tell you, because they've all been pretty much scorched by the summer. But there's plenty of plant ID up there, and so it's a botanical hike rather than some kind of how would you say race to the top.
Yeah.
So we can do that, or we can do something else. There's plenty of hiking trails around here. And so that's, something we can discuss, but I can send videos so you know exactly what it looks like.
All right, great. And then the next day is kind of our kayaking and beach time and our farewell dinner. And then day 8, leaving. I was looking at like what time flights left for, and I just put this 10:45. I was looking at flights that went back to the US. I know some of you want to go on to Athens or whatever. So again, once we have everyone who's committed, together, we can figure out, like the timing and hopefully do that soon. And we have, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. Right. All right. We have, like I said, like a few people. I know Arnold, who is not on, was very interested in like extending another week, either in Greece or somewhere else. Sherry said that that's what she's interested in. Is anyone else on here interested in extending?
I don't know, but
Larry, go.
Yeah, I don't know about a week. I was just thinking 2-3 days.
All right. And was that Jody or Emily? Who? Oh.
Sherry. I would do a pre that would put me in Crete at the end of, I could either do pre or post.
Okay.
I may be up for something for a few days after. I'm not sure. Maybe a couple days.
All right. So again, we'll try, I'm hoping to get this all together as soon as more sooner than later. So hopefully we will get everyone on board who's going to be on board, and and hopefully in like this upcoming week. So then we can also make sure that we have the the rooms at the hotels. But now I wanted just to open to you guys to see about questions or anything that you have for either me or Nikki.
I'm just wondering, you may have already done this, I'm sorry, but can you send, for those of us that can't get into the website, can you send the itinerary?
Yeah, I will do that. I am sorry that I don't know why you can't get in. So I have to figure, when we have a chance, will you let me know what like message you're getting so I could send it to my IT person? Sure. Okay.
Maybe you switch browsers.
That could be. So sometimes that happens. Anyone else with any type of questions? What are you thinking? Yes, no.
I'm curious about the apartment situation. Like, how's that going to work if you're coming by yourself or if you don't have a roommate? Like, is it you just have your own room in an apartment with everybody else? How's that work?
I can answer that for you, Sherry, on this iPad. The apartments that I really would love us to base in are called Trulos, TROULLOS.com. And the owners are really wonderful and very, let's say, interactive, but these are self-catering, as they call them. So for Europeans who come here, they're pretty much aware of that kind of situation. It's kind of like an Airbnb, right? But there's a big courtyard where we can all gather, and the rooms the pros are the beautiful courtyard and the owners and the history of the place and the beauty. It's a restored, let's say, lodging for the grape harvest. And so it's a stone courtyard, stone building. And so they've renovated the rooms and lovingly restored them. yes, if you're staying by yourself, if you're not opting to share a room, you'll have your own room. And it's a studio apartment, pretty simple, but lovely. And if you look up trulos.com, you'll see the photos of the options.
So yeah, so the plan is that, you know, there's apartments, you know, they're all together. So you may have your own studio, but you know, people will have another apartment. It's not like an apartment in one area, an apartment in another area. We'll all be together unless that's one of the reasons why I've been emphasizing let's sign up now and confirm, because it would be best if we were all together, but if not, you know, we would just, you know, take another area that has another kind of apartment complex, let's say, and but we'll all be meeting, you know, at the Trulos for like, I think, you know, in the courtyard, and that will be like the main, I guess, gathering spot. And we're hoping that we can get everyone to quickly sign up, and so that we can get, you know, everyone into that one complex.
No, it sounds lovely. I just didn't know if we were all in the same apartment with different bedrooms, how that
Oh,
worked.
I see what you're saying.
Oh, yeah, you have your own space if you're signing up for if you want to share a room, or, you know, sometimes couples, of course, obviously, but right. If you own room, we make those arrangements. It's yes, it's private. You have your private bathroom. It's okay. A small apartment with a tiny stove where you can make a coffee or tea or whatever. Boil an egg. There's no stove. You won't be there long enough to do any major cooking anyway. But and a little fridge.
Awesome.
A kitchenette, let's say. Sherry.
Yeah. And for the people who are sharing a room, it would be an apartment with just, you know, 2 beds.
Yeah, or a double bed if you're a couple.
Right.
You know, if we can do that. I mean, you know, the way the rooms are in these family lodges are, you know, sometimes they're twin beds, and, you know, it's based on, you know, how they designed it, and, you know, they changed it around every year, and right. Sometimes there's a double bed or 2 twin beds.
Right.
And the island is small enough and it's central enough that there's no point in having like multiple, one hotel to the next kind of travel.
And for 7 days, I mean, Robin and I have talked about this. For 7 days, this is really the best base.
We will be, sorry, but we will, you know, to get to some places, we will have, you know, a ride and come back, but, and the island is bigger. We're just focusing on a certain region. So, but yes, we're staying, we did talk about, you know, do we want to move hotels, and, you know, as we're moving in different places, and then decided, to just stay in one base so that we can, you know, keep our stuff. Most of the days, there won't be too much travel to the locations. Sorry, Nikki. Oh,
no, you answered the question better than I could, so that's perfect. But yeah, I mean, Robin and I did talk about, you know, time in the car is time lost. We don't go very far from our base, and I think sometimes just packing and moving, we're wasting time. It's better if we have great experiences than, you know, 4 hours of moving around. You know, if you were here for 10 days, it would be different. We would certainly move to another base, but 7 days is the base we're at is cultural immersion. You get to feel comfortable in your space and not have to pack and move and pack and move.
Good question, though. Anyone else? Okay. Then I will send a copy of the itinerary to everyone, and just, you know, I'll put everyone so that you can respond to each other as well in terms of, you know, if we can start talking about, you know, those who, you know, with booking flights and things like that. And certainly if, you know, if you have any questions or anything is kind of, you know, holding you, you know, you're not sure about or want to talk to me, I think all of you should have my cell phone. So just give me a call. So Nikki, I guess, thank you. And now you can go enjoy your wine and your Sunday evening, and the rest of you, I guess, have a great Sunday. And hopefully I will talk to you soon. Okay. Thank you very much.
Great to meet all of you and see you, Robin. And yes, have a great Sunday.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.